influence. That's something that we all do. Obviously, one painter can take influence from Pablo Picasso, or Akira Kurosawa would definitely influence George Lucas and Francis Ford Coppola. Hidden Fortress and Star Wars, of course, very specific. What happens when you get them combined in Kagemusha, 1980? In his late color masterpiece Kagemusha, Shadow Warrior, Akira Kurosawa returned to the samurai film in a primary theme of his career, the play between illusion and reality, sumptuously reconstructing the splendor of feudal Japan and the pageantry of war. Kurosawa creates a historical epic that is also a meditation on the nature of power. The Criterion Collection is proud to present Kagemusha for the first time in its full-length version of the United States. So there is this emperor in leading up to 1574, where he notices that there is a thief who bears an uncanny resemblance to him, like shockingly similar. Of course, it's played by the same actor, and it says, "Okay, listen, you're going to portray me because I may soon be dying from an illness, and you have to keep a secret. You have to mimic me for 3 years with my mannerisms and everything." So it's like the the Lord has a son, and it's like, okay, let's keep this charade going for as long as we can, but we have to keep them secret. And what happens is a way of how you can see. I don't want to say this is like a stage play. One of the things that I've noticed that the two movies I've seen with Kurosawa does is a solo performance, and then it leads up to a massive battle going on, which we do get a couple of battles here, but it's the actor himself that I do not have his name here. Does such a good job of Tatsuya Nakadai does a good role playing once both the Lord and also trying to re-portray himself. So obviously going through the motions of having the extravagant costumes, but then also at the same time being an everyman, I guess you could say, trying to portray nobility. That's actually really dang good. I like that, and I'm thinking, yes, this is what I want to see. I want to see this going. I want to see the sense of scale that Kurosawa does, because I've noticed with his movies, they are very art house influenced, and I'm getting adjusted to it. And as I'm thinking and watching this, I'm like, okay. So what's going on is over time, it's like he's trying to get himself to be, pretending to be the Lord and everything, but slowly the armor starts to come off, and it is revealed that he is not the real Lord, but he's an imposter, which we already knew the dramatic irony. Meanwhile, there are 3 other lords, including Nobunaga, and I don't have the 48-page booklet right here, so I'm going based off of memory. It's a struggle for power as 2 of the lords manage to subdue the 4th one. They all have facial hair, I noticed. Like a mustache or a goatee or something. I don't know, it's just something I noticed. So it's like, obviously this is feudal Japan, so with power in the country wasn't like combined during the 1800s. So I'm like, okay. So obviously we get the power play going on here, which I liked. I liked how what the guy has to do to keep portraying the king, but at the same time with the external forces trying to say if Shinhei, I'm sorry if I get the names wrong. If, yeah, see if Shinhei is dead, so then obviously they look at him, they try and send spies and everything. And I'm thinking to myself, alright. In the meanwhile, we also get to see how the actual Lord is taken out when there's this one soldier who manages to snipe him. They do it in such a way how they're explained like with a tree, and this guy's got good aim. So as I'm looking at this, I'm thinking to myself, So you get all this going on, and I'm thinking like, yeah, it's a good way of showing and telling which is always nice to see in a movie, and that's what I liked about Kurosawa's movies here. It's at once this movie is at once both a mediation on power and what happens when not we become influenced by it, but I guess you could say the deception towards the masses. And you're wondering how do they know that this thief is, well, obviously trying to portray a deceased lord. Oh, a bucking bronco. Only the previous lord would be able to ride it, but when the thief can't even control it, the ruse is discovered and he is ostracized, exiled, or whatever. And they actually like throwing the rocks at him and saying like, yeah, get the heck out of here. It's little touches like that that I would notice that it works really well. I'm thinking, yes, this is what I want to see. And then obviously you have like the epic clash going on. At the ending, you have when they were talking about the mountain. They bring in what was then at the time the four elements of standing still, like a mountain, being breezy and gentle like the wind, and have an absolute blazing sense like fire. No water though, so I guess that would have been serene and calm, but that could have also been intensified if need be. You can just watch Avatar: The Last Airbender for a better elucidation on that. So the previous lord was called a mountain because he was not fazed by anything, and the thief cannot actually overcome to that. So this also gets applied in the battle at the end, in which there's like a forest of lancers that will roll their ways in order to create a volley. You have the fire from like all the riflemen who are beginning firearms back then, and with the wind, I think it was the horses or something like that. I could be wrong. Google AI robot, you know what to do. But yeah, at the end, we also get to see the cost of war, where they even mention, take out the horses. I'm like, yeah, even in westerns, you never see anyone shoot bullets at horses. But here, when we get to see the carnage of the battle, oh my goodness, it is haunting to see. As I'm looking at it, you just see some horses, trying to get up. Obviously, maybe it's just a person in a costume, where the horses were just, I don't know, restrained or whatever. And of course, there are a couple of people trying to get up, and it's just like, what the heck is going on here? So that was definitely a powerful, haunting scene, and then you also get to the guy who happens just to be excommunicated, where he returns. He wants to be part of the battle, but ultimately he gets taken out and his corpse floats down a river. I'm not sure what that's meant to symbolize or anything, but kind of a fitting end. Like, even though that he was the king, he ultimately dies singularly rather than with all the people, all the plural deaths going on there, which is just dang. So yeah, there was obviously, what was that? It was either 1,400 extras or 5,000 extras that was meant for the ending right there, and I'm just like, yeah, that definitely feels like a dang good conclusion. For here with Criterion, you have this 180 minutes. You have Lucas, Coppola, and Kurosawa, 19 minutes, 2005. Directors George Lucas and Coppola discuss Kurosawa and their roles as executive producers of Kagemusha. 41-minute documentary on the making of Kagemusha, part of the Toho Masterworks series of Akira Kurosawa. It is wonderful to create. Image: Kurosawa's continuity. 43-minute video piece reconstructing Kagemusha through Kurosawa's paintings and sketches. A series of Suntory whiskey commercials made on the set of Kagemusha. Gallery of storyboards painted by Kurosawa and images of the realization on screen, plus a 48-page booklet detailing a new essay by scholar Peter Grilli. Reprinted 81 interview with Kurosawa by renowned critic Tony Raines, and biographical sketches by film historian Donald Ritchie. And because there wasn't enough money for this epic, that's when the two American producer directors came in and actually helped finance it. Ergo, the respect and influence that I was talking about, which led to truly an epic, kind of underappreciated film. And also with the phrase Kagemusha, the brother was talking about living in his father's shadow or whatever, and hope that one day he was willing to break it, so at once it feels like that he is the warrior compared to the thief who's just there, I guess. So, and yes, in case you're wondering, to all Naruto fans, Hokage is kind of took influence from that. So say what you will about that, but yeah, obviously with this you have to pay attention to it, and it's not going to be for everyone. I mean, I'm still getting adjusted to how Kurosawa portrays movies, but yeah, definitely if you're into Japanese movies, give Kagemusha a watch.